Hi, and welcome to the show. I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you so much, Vonnie, for having me. Excited to be here finally.
Yeah, the big show. So why don't you tell us about yourself and your company and your products?
My name is Joaquin Fisch. I'm one of the founders and the CEO of NAT4Bio. We are an Argentinian-based startup developing biological solutions for post-harvest fresh food preservation. So the other co-founder is over there, actually, on the other side of the booth. He's Leandro, and he's the scientist in charge. He's the chief scientific officer of the company. And our technology is based on his research during his tenure as an academic researcher, in which he investigated the synergy between natural polymers produced by microorganisms and antimicrobial agents, whether those are metabolites, small molecules, or even living microorganisms.
Very cool. So what is the stage of the company now? Do you have products in the market?
So we started developing products for citrus industry. Our company is located in Tucumán, Argentina. It's in the northwest part of the country. And it's a small province that has a huge lemon production hub. So it's a huge powerhouse in lemon production. So we started validating our formulation technology in our thesis and the approach to the problem with lemons first. Then we quickly moved into oranges, tangerines to expand to sweet citrus. And we are now also are developing solutions for fresh apples, pears, avocados, and we are also like trying developing and adjusting prototypes for the pre-harvest protection of strawberries and blueberries, right? So the first product that we have a lot of project, but it's one of the challenges that we found when we started the company was what should we actually do year round? Because you only have a certain amount of time to develop a solution for a given crop. So, for example, lemons in Argentina are on season, like the harvest season goes from March, April up to July. Some customers stretch it out until August, maybe. But the rest of the time of the year, you cannot work on lemons unless
Oh,
you have a partner in the northern hemisphere, right? Just to
uh-huh.
work at a counter season, or you can just keep expanding your pipeline in like adding different crops that are on season when you are off season with your main crop. So we started like adding a bunch of work, adding a bunch of crops to the pipeline, and then of course we realized that we were too few hands for a
Yes.
lot of works that we had to do. But we were already on that. We already had partners that were tractioning that development, and they were expecting the results. So we kept moving with that expanded pipelines. But we always kept a strong focus on citrus. So citrus, just for context, right, is one of the commodity crops that in which post-harvest is widely adopted across the world. So over 90% of the citrus in the world is conventional. The like over 90% or 95% of the conventional produce gets sprayed some sort of wax, some sort of fungicide. So there's a very well developed post harvest workflows across the world. So our solution was actually designed from the get go to fit into those workflows without having to actually disrupt what the customers were already doing in terms of machinery, in terms of inputs. So we call it like plug and play products.
So it fits right in. They don't have to change any of their practices.
Exactly. So the first solution that we started pursuing was a coating, right? The coating that preserves weight, preserves flavor, color, freshness. But we found out very early on that our formulation technology based on these microbial polymers had the potential to increase the efficacy of antimicrobial active ingredients. In other words, it's also a very strong adjuvant, right? An adjuvant is a product that doesn't have an effect per se, but when you combine it with an antimicrobial agent, it
Right.
enhances the efficacy of such agent.
Ah,
So we started validating that approach with a natural molecule called natamycin. So our product was a two-in-one formulation, right? It was a coating, and at the same time, it was a biofungicide. What happened? Natamycin's regulatory approval status across the world is not very well, it's not equivalent. So Europe, Japan, Asia Pacific, they don't allow natamycin on their imports, while the US it's currently approved for use in the US. But customers in Argentina, they didn't want a solution that had a molecule that couldn't be used in some places, but it was good to use in
yeah,
other
that
places,
makes
right?
sense.
So we took out natamycin and we end up having just a coating, which was something that we didn't want to have in the first place because we needed to differentiate compared to what was actually being developed in the market when we launched the company. So we started validating instead of nanomycing, using all of the actives, like the active ingredients that are used in conventional agriculture. Imazalil, thiabendazole, azoxystrobin, all of chemical molecules that are standard across a huge amount of crops. And we validated that same adjuvant properties. So when you formulate those actives instead of just water in our product, the efficacies get skyrocket threefold, fivefold, or seeing from a different perspective, you can reduce doses 25, 50, even 75% without sacrificing the potential to fight diseases after the
Wow.
harvest.
So are you doing the formulation work yourself?
We are doing the formulation ourselves. So we have a team of 6 scientists and engineers. 2 of them are exclusively dedicated to formulation science. So while the core of our team are microbiologists at heart, they studied a lot of time. They spent a lot of time studying these natural polymers and finding novel ways to combine those polymers. So these polymers are found in nature, and they are produced by wild microorganisms that use those polymers as a tool to adhere to the plants they want to infect, right? So Leandro and the technical team actually found out that, and they said, what will happen if you use these polymers to attach to plants, but to protect them instead of infect them? So that was kind of the first question that ignited the development, that kicked off the development. And of course, that's still under development, but that was the initial question.
So are you selling in Argentina?
We have 6 customers currently in our pilot program. We are not selling it widely because we are working on getting the regulatory approvals as adjuvants and also as food coatings in Argentina. We are also working with global agricultural chemical companies. They develop these products, but they also distribute other products from other companies across the world. So that's kind of what we call the indirect customer traction.
Yeah.
So we work with 4 big companies that serve global markets and also some companies that exclusively serve the US market. We work with a very large avocado company that has worldwide operations because the prototype in avocado has shown incredible progress in the past few months with great results in terms of reduction of the doses required to achieve a certain level of disease control, which is quite interesting for this company because they want to reduce their chemical footprint by 50% by 2030. So our technology can actually be the key to that, to reaching that goal, right? So we've been selling small batches of product as part of the pilot program, but it's not that the product is commercially available everywhere.
What's your expectation of how you're going to ramp up sales in those 2 different markets?
That's a very good question. And it's actually one of the most challenging parts of our business, how to make sure that you're spending the time in a way that you're actually moving towards commercialization. So in order to onboard a large customer, it takes you something from 2 to 3 seasons, meaning 2 to 3 years, right?
Yeah.
So you first start and you do a small lab scale trial. You then move to a small pilot, and then you do a full integration of your product. But we're talking about 3 years between the first contact and a commercial distribution agreement, right? So in order for us to de-risk that part of the business, we are having as many conversations as we have in parallel, as many processes in parallel. It's very hard for us to reduce the time that it takes for a big player to gain conviction of your technology. What we can do is to parallelize that work, so we can be we can use our time in the most efficient way.
So you were in our Fresh Field Catalyst Accelerator this year. Talk a little bit about what you learned and how the program benefited you.
Oh, I mean, the first thing that was super, super shocking for us to learn was the scale of the US produce industry. So why is this important? Is because when you do some trials at the lab, you found out that your product has cool technological properties. But then you have to multiply that for a very large scale factor to understand what would be the implications of such technology feature in the operation of a customer. And one very cool example was, for example, when our solution, our product is very good at solubilizing and keeping thiabendazole, one of the actives in the post-harvest, very stable, right? So when you formulate thiabendazole in water, the molecule just precipitates to the bottom of the tank unless you are constantly stirring and agitating the tank. That requires a lot of energy, a lot of equipment, but also a lot of labor, which in California is something that is very, very
Yeah,
hard to get.
exactly.
Right?
Oh, good to
So
know. Yeah.
when you mix thiabendazole in our solution, those formulations remain stable in just one phase for 6, 8, and even like over 12 months. So when we said this to one of the partners that is currently testing a solution, they were like, "Yeah, if you can give me just a couple of weeks, I'm not talking about a year. If you can give me just a couple of weeks of stability, that will heavily reduce the amount of labor that I need to keep all the tanks of my customers, the customers I serve, running efficiently, right? Imagine instead of having to do like constant daily rounds, inspecting those tanks and making sure that the solutions are evenly dissolved, they can just do it every other week, for example. That's a huge amount of labor that company will be saving just because of a small technological feature we see at the lab. And that's why I think that getting a sense on the scale of the US produce industry was so important for us. And we got it thanks to this program.
Great. That's great. Well, finishing up here, what do you think of the show so far and what do you hope to get out of it?
This is our fourth participation in the show. The first one was only me without having like a company tag either because we were just launched the we had just launched the company a couple of months ago. It was back in 2022 in Orlando, Florida, the first show.
Okay.
And that was actually the show in which we put the foot on the door with one of the largest citrus growers in the US. And we kept that relationship going on ever since. So for us, this is the best place to connect with potential partners. With current partners is the best way for us to catch up in person, to shake hands, which we know in this industry, the short term is 1 year, right? Nobody does anything unless they analyze it throughout a season and then evaluate it for the next season. So for us, being here is important, showing our customers that we are a reliable partner, even though we are a small 8-people company. We want to show the image of a reliable partner that is going to be here for a while. It's going to be providing solutions for the long term, and we will not just disappear after a couple of years because we are unprofessional, so to speak. So this is the best place for us to create that company branding and awareness.
Great. Well, it's so great to have you here. Thanks for stopping by the booth and having this conversation, and I'll see you on the floor.
Thank you, Vonnie. Thank you to the entire IFPA team. For us, again, this opportunity was amazing for us. It's an Argentinian-based company. Great to be here and super excited for the next few days.
Coming up, Vonnie sits down with Jerold Zwas to share his insights.
Good morning. It's great to have you here. Thanks for coming into the booth.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. It's been great so far.
Oh, good. Yeah, the excitement of the show floor just opening. So why don't you tell us about yourself and the company and your product?
Yeah, that'd be great. Well, thank you so much. I'm Jerold Zwas, CEO of PakItGreen. We started the company really to focus on sustainable packaging. And we're really focused on trying to move away from the single-use plastic and PFAS in packaging today and really move more to a sustainable, recyclable, repulpable, and compostable packaging. And this program has been great because learned so much, and we really focused on a particular product that we're doing for this show right now, which is really bags in general. So, and particularly ones that are going to be in a form-fill seal machine that have oxygen barrier, water barrier, some grease. It has great grease, but fresh produce doesn't need as much as that, but we have that as well. And some moisture barrier as well. And then we try to make sure that it's very easy to use, that it can be used on the existing machinery, it has high quality print. And the big advantage of this is, one, there's so many regulations and so many different legislation coming out for the banning of single-use plastics, as well as the Extended Producer Responsibility Act. It's just this large tax potential on producers as well. So
you got a sample for us?
So we do have a sample here. So this is just a small little one, but this you can see is just replace film very easily. We can still do the form-fill seal machine, and it's done and not be able to use the existing machinery, the existing printing machinery, the existing form-fill seal machinery. And we can coat that if it's a wet environment. We can do a good double coating on the inside, outside, protect it from all the moisture in the water. Back on the shelves in the store, they have the sprayers. We got to protect from that. But also it has an oxygen barrier and a moisture barrier. So, and one thing I learned from the program is, every fruit, every vegetable has a different respiration. I would have never known that. So, I mean, that was really incredible to learn. And we learned how to adjust for that. So, we're working with converters that we met through the program and laser perforation. We can do that now on the paper and control the oxygen. So we really can just I wouldn't say seamlessly. There's always, adjustments you have to make to the machinery because it's paper versus plastic, but really use the existing machinery, switch over with as much ease as possible in order to make that transition into the sustainable packaging very easy for the both for the converter as well as the producer.
And it's paper? So what
Yeah,
explain
so
what it's made out of?
we are focusing on fiber-based
Okay.
products. We could do other things, for other type of, we have packaging for, tomatoes, berries, avocados, anything you want to do as well. But our focus for this project was really on the bags and particularly fiber-based bags.
And you're selling into other industries now, right?
Yeah, so we do have a lot of other industries we're looking at, and frozen foods. We do a lot of work with frozen foods, a lot of quick serve restaurant type of products as well. But they all need kind of the same thing: water barrier, oil barrier, grease barrier, heat sealability. All those very common. And really, it's just the little bit of design, the paper that you use, the cardstock you use, and that's what we work very closely with, either converters or end users. We almost look at ourselves as much of a consulting company as we do as a product company, because people know films. They've done films for the last 50, I don't know, 50, 60 years.
Yeah.
They're experts. I'm not going to teach them anything. But this is a new industry. People are nervous about this. They really want to get it right. And even though packaging is a very small percentage of the total product value, if it fails, you lose everything.
Yeah, it can ruin the product
Right.
value.
So we really want to work with them and be the consulting and get over those humps. There's always going to be new issues to learn.
So in the produce industry, your customer is who? It's the packer or it's the grower, or it depends on the product? Or?
It probably depends a little bit on the product. I mean, so we do work a lot with the converters, because they're the ones who will take our product, usually coated paper, and then print on it, get it ready, package it any way that they're used to, slice it, dice it, all the things that the producers need. And then the end user will be the packer usually.
So my greatest exposure that I've seen on the floor is Emerald packaging that we went to visit. And I've just seen, the rolls and rolls of plastic that they have and how they do all the printing and everything. So if they were a customer of yours, what would they have to do to use your product?
So really not that much change in a lot of ways. We'd give them the coated paper, and then they would take it like they do the blank film. They'd put it on their machinery. They'd be able to print it. They have to size it.
Could be the same?
It should be pretty close to the same. Again, those may be little adjustments. You may need a little more ink because the paper absorbs a little more. Paper printing on paper has been done for that. That's easy. People know how to do that as well. And that's a very easy transition for them. And then once they do the printing, they get the rolls of the same exact size that they did last time, except with film. And they go over and give it to the packer, and they can put it on their machinery.
Not to get too tactical here, but they would obviously have to stop what they were doing and then reload with your material to move through, and then stop that and then reload with the other. Is that having the machine down? Is that a problem for?
Well, what they'd probably do is, if you look at any machine, there's multiple lines going out simultaneously. So they'd pick 2, 3, 4 of the 20 lines that they have to start.
Just keep it going on that all the time.
Keep that going. And again, even with film, you have to switch in order to say, oh, I'm doing large bags, small bags. I'm doing this salad mix versus pure romaine or things like that. So there's always switching going on as well. But they'd probably dedicate lines because there's little things you will have to do. The collar formation, you'll probably have to change the collar a little bit. But, for $300, you get a new collar. So you'd probably kind of dedicate for that. But even the packaging that they have now, package size changed. They swap out the collar, they put a new collar in also.
Right. So would that be a pull through? I mean, would you sell that to Emerald, or that would be a pull through the customer would come to them and they'd say, I want to use this packaging, and then they'd do it? Is that how that would work?
So our experience so far has been both. There's a lot of times, and Emerald's a wonderful company, wonderful example. Have talked to us and they said they're very interested in moving towards at least having paper products because they see the writing on the wall that it's going to change. And the fees, for the EPRs are so much higher for plastic than they are paper. So there has to be that solution. They can realize that. So they want to have a product. So there's times that the converter comes in and says, I want to be able to offer this to all my customers. I've had other times that the end user comes in, the packer, and says, I really want to do this. Let me introduce you to my converter and work with them to do it. So it happens both ways.
And what stage are you guys? Are you like sales all over the world, or you're just starting out, or
So we're still very early stage. We have people working with us to do different products right now. We're doing final tests on a lot. I mean, we have, this product here is made by one of the mills that use our product right now, and they're looking to sell it to their customer base. So we are getting through the whole supply chain, but our products are ready. We have sales in Asia is really where some of our products started. And then here in the States, we really have just tremendous pull right now. And just, it takes a while to develop packaging. It has to be right, it has to work, as your last person said. Can't make any mistakes. So, it's a meticulous, slow process. And that's what we work on. That's why we're consultants as much as product guys.
Yeah, definitely.
But we do have really great traction right now.
And are you producing in the U.S.?
So we're partially. Right now, we do have a contract manufacturer out of India. We are talking with contract manufacturers here in the U.S. to do more domestic production. So that's kind of the both kind of both is the answer there. But right now, most of our production's out of India.
So it's been great to have you in the program this year. I love having, the purpose of the program was to bring technology that people are using in other industries to solve our problems, because we've got, huge problems with packaging and in produce. So you talked a little bit about some of the advantages of it, but is there any other anecdotes or stories about being in the program and what you learned?
Well, yeah, I don't think we could have developed a product that's going to fit this market without going through the program in a lot of ways, because, so much I didn't know. I was mentioned the respiration of each different one, the wet environments that you have sometime, and then really the context too. We've talked with several of the companies that are excited and are working with us and teaching us a little what they need to make sure. And we're hoping to get more and more, because the more we can have multiple companies, we can get this product done better, and more companies reduce costs, spread the cost out a little bit. So that's been working really, really well. There's certain products I know we can't go after. Packed in the field, I never knew that. So okay, that mark celery's off the table. Let me tell you. But
well, it's good to know what you can't do.
It's so true.
Yeah.
It looks so easy. It's a simple bag. Oh, we can do that, but no, you can't, because the way they package it. So we've really learned a lot about that. The distribution chains, going to the Walmarts and things like that, knowing that what it has to fit into at the end of the day, and what it has to sustain, and all those type of things on a toughness, because it takes a beating. So we have to know that. And really, I've learned so much in this program. It's really been incredible, and really made us develop a better product.
Oh, that's excellent. I assume that's the first time you've been to this show.
First time I've been to the show.
So what's your impression? The floor just opened,
So
I know.
my first impression, actually, this is the healthiest show I've ever been to. Normally you eat the chocolates and the candies. Here I'm eating blueberries and salad and strawberries. It's great.
Yeah.
Much better for the diet and that.
If you don't get enough to eat, it's your own fault.
Oh my God, it's so true. And then the colors, and it's so much. It's like a happier show. People are with food and flowers. What could be happier than that?
Yeah.
It's much bigger than I expected. So that was a nice thing.
Yeah.
Nice variety of different people who are showcasing. So that I'm gonna learn even more coming to the show. So I'm excited about that as well.
Great.
And just really networking with more people, and really, taking this product and getting rid of the single-use plastic, and then helping sustainability and better planet.
Great. Well, thank you so much. It's great to have you in the program, and thanks for coming by the podcast booth today. I appreciate it.
Oh, it was my pleasure, and I'm really excited that we're working with you.